Hi, I'm Sean Thompson. I'm part of the technical services team here at Crown Paints. I'm the wood care expert, and today we're going to show you us using Superdeck in a few colours on some woodwork here at Crown House. We've got a pergola that we've done some prep on, so we'll explain what we've done there, and also we'll give you some tips about how you get the woodwork ready for painting. Today we're going to be using some Superdeck. The colours that we're going to be using are going to give you a combination effect. The actual product itself is ideal for this. We've got a beautiful day today, and the idea is that what we're going to do is get the preparation done and the first coat done today with regards to getting the second coat on and then subsequent third coats on, and we'll show you the finished results. You'll notice on the Superdeck cans that we've now got 10 years on the side of the can. This used to be 8, but we've increased that up to 10. Basically what we're saying now is that if you apply an extra coat, so that's 3 coats of this self-priming system, then you'll get up to 10 years durability from this particular product. Now the joy with Superdeck is that it's self-priming. You can put it directly onto bare wood surfaces, or you can actually put it over an existing coating as long as that is sound and that's been suitably prepared. Saddling Superdeck is an opaque system, so it gives you a variety of colours that will allow you to actually cover over something that doesn't look particularly great. Now the wood that we've got here today has actually been prepared and is quite good, but if you have got something that's seen better days, or maybe you've got a bit of a patchwork, this is an ideal product to actually hide a multitude of sins and give you a nice uniform colour. We've chosen 3 colours to use today, but there's over 300 colours available, including rail colours and British standard colours. So the pergola before we arrived here on site was unfortunately in a little bit of a grade state. This is basically grade denatured timber, which you may be familiar with. If you buy something brand new, the timber will be nice and clean like you can see here on camera, and then basically you still need to do some prep, which we will go through in just a moment. But basically when it's grey, what's happened there is that the sun's UV is basically started to sunburn the surface of the wood. That's the easiest way to describe it. There's nothing rotting about it, it's not disintegrating or anything like that, but the surface of the wood basically becomes very brittle and fibrous, and if you paint it when it's grey, the paint will stick to the fibrous surface, and that's when you get peeling or flaking. So it's imperative that if it's grey, silvery, you do need to basically remove that. Now what we did here is that we actually got a mechanical sander and just quickly buzzed over the top of that. It's not difficult at all if you've got the right tools for the job, and what that did is it actually removed it, and then you expose clean, bright timber. Now we still need to do some prep there because all we've done is just remove that, so that's what we'll go through now. Now you can use a variety of tools with regards to sanding, and remember what you're doing here is you're preparing the surface ready for painting, so you want to get this as good as you possibly can do. Now preparation, depending on who you speak to, is 80–90% of the job. It's the bit that everybody goes, ooh, what's the point of doing that? But if you do this, trust me, when you paint it, it will pay you back with bells and whistles on. So you can use blocks, you can use pads, you can use normal abrasive paper, whatever is easiest for you. We don't recommend the use of any wire wool though. Just keep that well away from when you're doing any wood care, because basically the little shards get embedded in the wood and then they can rust. All right, so what we're going to do here is that we've done the mechanical sanding, so the process that would go through is that we're just going to give this a key. All right, now hopefully you'll notice on the back of papers you'll see that they've got like a grade, so this has got P180 and this is the grade of the paper. So when you're decorating with wood care, we normally recommend a P180 or a P240 grade paper. It's not too fine and it's not too coarse, and it'll give you the best look on your coating. So when we're doing a prep, yeah, all you're doing is just giving that a quick buzz over, and what that's doing is just opening up the surface. That's all it needs, okay, because we've done most of the sanding at the start. The next thing to do, which is very important, is that will be very dusty, okay. Get a nice clean brush or jammy brush, okay, and get rid of the dust off the surface. Otherwise what you're going to do is just basically paint over a load of dust and it's going to look horrible. Okay, then finally, and probably the most important thing that you will do, is that you need to use some methylated spirits, the purple stuff. Don't use white spirit, that just leaves a greasy residue and can potentially cause problems with the coating actually adhering to the surface. Now what methylated spirits does is that it's a great degreasing agent. So if there's any grease, grime, resin, so if you're talking particularly where knots are, okay, or if there's any resin reservoirs on there. What it will do is it will remove that from the surface, and then when you paint onto the surface, the coating is adhering to the substrate, not to a load of grease. All right, so what you do is you get a clean lint-free cloth, so don't use your old duster from home. Put plenty of meths on there. Okay, and then what you do is you then wipe over the surface. All right, so hopefully you can see that a load of dust comes off there. Yeah, so if it gets a bit grimy, just rotate it around. Yeah, don't be shy putting this stuff on. Okay, and give it a wipe over. Now hopefully you might be able to pick this up on camera, is that whilst I'm talking to you, you can see that it's actually flash drying off. So literally within about 20-30 seconds to a minute, that will all be flashed off and it will be dry, and then you can paint. What we don't want you doing is doing all that cleaning regime on a hot day, leave a hot week and then come back to it, because basically any natural extractives or resins that are in the wood might come back to the surface and you're back to square one. So try and do this bit of prep just before you're going to be doing the decorating. Okay, so now we've done all the prep, now it's time to start painting. So what we're going to do is we're going to put on our first colour. This one's Jungle Green in Superdeck. Superdeck is an opaque system. It's microporous. I know some of you like to know if that's the case. This means that when you put the system on, it allows the wood to breathe. And also, if you've done the prep correctly, it's very, very resistant to peeling and flaking. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put this onto the crossbars over the top, and then we'll use the other two colours for going further down and for doing the posts. Now just to show you a little demo on the flexibility. So what we've done here, this is actually Superdeck and another colour that's been applied to a rubber glove. Now this hopefully gives you some reassurance about how flexible the coating system will be. Now I appreciate that your timber post is never going to do this, but that gives you some reassurance that as long as you do everything right with the prep and give the coating the chance to bond to the surface, that's how much it can flex. Okay, so now to start the fun bit, which is doing the decorating. So here's our Jungle Green, lovely colour. The joy with Superdeck is that it's really, really easy to apply. So basically, make sure that you're using the synthetic brush. That's what you should be using with water-based. Okay, and hopefully what you can pick up is that we're starting from the top first and then going to work our way down, so that if there is a little bit of an accident, it's not end of the world, we can sort that out on subsequent coats. If we did it the other way around, we'd get the mess on something that we've already painted. So apply it liberally, don't be shy putting it on. I want to make sure that they get a decent amount of coating on there. Okay, but make it manageable for yourself as well. And I've taped this little bit off here at the top just to make sure that I don't get the other upright in a bit of a mess. Okay, so once we've got that on, and then lay off in the direction of the grain, just using the tips of the brushes. There you go, lovely. As you can see, what this is doing, the joy with Superdeck is that it covers the grain, but it doesn't hide the profile of it. So what you do is you get the best of both worlds basically. So you get that consistency and evenness of colour, but you do get the contours of the wood. So don't forget that you need to do the end grain. So put plenty of product on the ends, because these are the vulnerable bits. These are the bits where the product itself protects the wood from getting unwanted moisture ingress. So here we are with the second colour, which is Amazonian. So we've given it a thorough stir, and we're just making sure that we've taped off all the bits that we don't want to get the product on unnecessarily. Make sure that we put plenty of product onto the end grains and then work from the top down ideally. Okay, as I said before, just make sure that you get plenty of product on there. Here we are opening the third colour with this is High 5, and when you're stirring it, make sure you use a broad bladed stirring stick. It's important that you give it a thorough stir. We don't want people using screwdrivers, chopsticks, spoons or anything like that. The broad nature of this allows you to get into the edge of the can and then to lift it up, just like a cake mixture. And what you want is a consistency of colour and a consistency of viscosity. And then when you're happy you've done that, then there you go, just take the excess off with your brush and go to one side and you're ready to go. So again, we've just taped off the areas that we're wanting to protect. They're fully dry, by the way. And here we go, just make sure that we get plenty on the end grain at the top there. You'll find at the top of the posts are particularly thirsty because they're very open, so again, don't be shy with how much product that you put on. And then what you will also notice is that when you've got fixings, so whether it be a nail, as you can see on the front here, or a screw, ideally what you need to make sure that you use are galvanised, non-ferrous, things that don't rust, nails and screws, if you can do. If there's anything ferrous, then irrespective really, to be honest, of whatever paint you use, it can rust through. But on the basis that it's all clean, then you can, in theory, just paint straight over them, no problem at all. There you go. So as you can see, it's a lovely day. It's been the hottest week of the year. We've managed to get the final coats on, so we've got the full 3 coats of saddling Super Deck on now. The colours are quite subtle, so the top one's the jungle green, then we've got the crossbars, which are basically Amazonian, and then we've done the posts in high 5. It's been great to actually decorate this week. Whilst it's been really hot, we've managed to get the system on. It's dried really quick. The joy of this now is that you can now enjoy this for the whole of the summer. Sip your Pimm's, drink your beer, enjoy it. For as far as cleaning is concerned, periodically when it gets a bit dusty, just give it a clean down with some warm water, mild detergent, and rinse it off with some clean water. And then ultimately, and this will be 8 to 10 years, what you'll have to do is just do a maintenance coat. Now that won't be a full strip back and start again. As soon as a coating looks dull and it's lost its life, that's normally your indication that you need to put another coat on. So basically just give it the clean down like before, reapply another coat, easy as that. For free help and advice, please call the number on the screen and speak to one of our dedicated wood care team. For full details of our saddling range, please visit our website saddling.co.uk or follow us on Facebook and Twitter.